and welcome back to another episode of the KickBack. I keep getting the episode number wrong every week, so I'm just gonna not do it anymore. If you do like what you're seeing with us, give us a like, drop a comment, hit subscribe to see more. We've got a lot more in the pipeline, but today we are with Sweet Left Foot, also known as Mick, also known as Mike. How are you doing, Mike? How's it hanging?
It's not too bad, thank you, buddy. It's good. There's an array of nicknames that I get now, and I just live with them.
What sort of nicknames? I'm thinking right off the bat. We'll caveat. Do you think we could like rank from worst to best?
Oh god, I mean, Strop Left Foot is one that pops up in my streams a lot because I get a bit annoyed. Sweet Left Foot, Sweet Left Bottle pops up a lot. Double Pick Mick.
So Sweet Left Bottle's a bit lazy, to be honest. I think that's a lazy one.
Thank you.
You're clutching a few.
Yeah. Double Pick Mick I like. That developed from competitions of things. That's quite cool. Other than that, they're all just, I take them as they come.
No, fair enough. Well, I'm trying to do something a little bit new today, so I'm gonna drop an icebreaker just to kind of ease people into it. I've not really done it before, so congratulations, you're number one. And I was thinking about something interesting to do, so I've kind of gone for one that was something kind of like that I thought of. Which is, say, just retrace your mind. You're in, I don't know, year 10. You're on the walk home from school. You nip into the shops. You've got a quid in your pocket. Are you getting a snack or are you getting something to drink?
I'd be getting... We used to have a store over the road from our secondary school. And they used to do the big bars of chocolate, Euro Shopper.
They were so bad they were good.
Yeah, exactly. Like 40p for like a big bar of chocolate. I've actually got, it's a shameless, hold on. I haven't opened it very well. It's not that, but I've got a big bar of dairy milk here.
Okay.
It was a similar size to this for 40p, and I thought that is really good. I can't go wrong with it.
No.
So, yeah, it would be that.
Is that Christmas chocolate already? Is that...
Shall I go now? Or
I mean, it's not so much you, because I get it's probably good, but I can't believe it's not even November yet, and it's already doing the rounds.
As of recording, it's the 27th of October, and I've got Christmas chocolate.
Yeah, it's Halloween season, and he's got Christmas chocolate. I mean,
it was a gift, but I'm just getting in the festive spirit.
I don't blame you. I blame Cadbury's.
Yeah, exactly. I've far too soon.
Yeah,
far
exactly,
too soon.
100%. So, just in terms of before we obviously delve into anything deeper, I'm gonna again take it sort of back in terms of the introduction of football into your life. At what point did you sort of, not necessarily the first thing you remember about football, but the first time you saw something and you were like, oh, this is amazing. This is what I love. This is what I want.
As in terms of playing or watching?
Watching, just like from that young age.
There's a few things that I really remember from when I was younger. One of them being, it was a time where I support Arsenal now. I did support Liverpool, but it was a time where I was so young, like 7 or 8. I was chopping and changing like the weather. I think I had Coventry in there at some point for some reason. And I remember it was Liverpool and Arsenal in the cup final, and I think Michael Owen scored 2 goals. And I used to look up to him because he had the same name as me, and I used to think he was really cool. I used to, want to be a striker, want to be just like him. The 2 goals he scored against Arsenal is something I remember from a really early age, and I used to go outside and try and reenact them. So whenever I'd be playing with friends or with training, all the time I'm going through and I'm thinking, oh, I'm Michael Owen running through here. I'm basically Michael Owen. Wrong foot, but yeah. That and the World Cup, the 2002 World Cup with the Ronaldinho free kick over David Seaman. I remember we used to watch that. I think, how old was I? I think I was 10 then. So I think it was year 4, year 5, and they wheeled in the television. Because it was a time where like projectors and things weren't involved. They wheeled in the television, put on, I think it was BBC or ITV, one of those, and we watched it as a class. And obviously I'm still quite young to really understand the what's going on. But that's another memory that will live long from when I was younger. The Ronaldinho free kick, Seaman waving it goodbye. that was fun because that was shared with a lot of like the first memory I sort of shared with classmates as well. That I still friends with some of them today.
It's difficult at that age as well because like right now as an adult, you know, football is about the camaraderie that goes with it. It's quite hard to get that when you're a kid because you're either watching it with your dad, who is either more focused. He's not going to just get up and grab you, is he? Sort of thing. He's
No,
gonna get up and grab his mate. So, like, was that like an indicator, just having that sort of camaraderie around your age with similar interests that really piqued it?
Yeah, and we all used to play for the school team as well. And what you said there is interesting because I remember I watched my dad supports West Ham. I don't know why he raised me a West Ham fan. I was watching the West Ham Liverpool Cup final with him, and when I think it was 2-0. I think Liverpool got it back to 2-2. And then when West Ham took the lead again, he celebrated. And I jumped up with him thinking, oh, this is great. Turned to celebrate with him. And he's off celebrating with his friends. And I was like, yay! Like, it's on my own. Like, well done. Good stuff.
It's literally like when you go for a handshake and they just walk by. One of them.
Literally that.
Nah.
But yeah, no, I agree. It was good to share that with friends that I was playing with as well. Yeah. So it was good growing up with them and then going to secondary school. It was something that we sort of held on to until we all sort of parted ways.
Yeah, that's the problem with secondary school, isn't it? That point afterwards.
You break off into your own sort of bubbles.
Yeah.
And I don't mind because my circle's quite small, but it's like a strong. I'd rather that than have a bigger circle with some flaky friendships.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's like it's one of them, isn't it? Like it depends which route you go down. Like the guys who I know, like some of us went to different colleges. We haven't spoken again. Some of us just did other things outside of college.
Yeah.
Well, did you go down the college route, or were you interested?
So I went sixth form and uni.
Okay.
In hindsight, I probably wish. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure they wish they did a different subject or a different topic. But yeah, I studied journalism at uni.
Okay.
And then haven't really done a whole host with it. I kind of fell into it because I enjoyed writing about like sports mainly. And the subjects I studied at sixth form, I think it was media, English lit, history, all sort of rolled into. There's obviously other degrees you could have done, but rolled for me into like a journalism degree. I enjoyed it throughout. Like it was a good time there, a good 3 years. Looking back, it would have been nicer to have done something that I could see myself using more.
I reckon that a media degree would have come in handy with the thumbnails and all of that sort of thing.
Some of my thumbnails starting, like I've got I'll have to send you the first one I did because it is beyond bad compared to I'm no expert now. But compared to some of them I've got now, and that's like pulling from experience and seeing others as well, it's night and day between what I started with and what I do now. So yeah, a media degree would have been
bloody lovely. Well, nah, I get that, and as well, like I mean, I did a finance degree, and it was literally just because like I didn't really know what else to do, and it's kind of worked out into early stages of a career. Like I only graduated maybe a year and a half ago, I think. But like it's one of them. Like again, I would have probably done media as well. I was very, very interested in that sort of thing. But on the sort of football note, I know you were when I asked you your first football memory, and you said watching or playing. I'm going to ask about the playing now. In terms of how did you get sort of. You know, what sort of teams were you in? Did you get to any sort of level, position, just everything, mate? The whole shebang?
I don't know where to start. So I played like all through from 7-a-side, 9-a-side, 11-a-side, up until a couple of years ago where the sort of Saturday league club I was playing for, we folded. Yeah. And I haven't really got back into it since then. But I started as a striker and then to a left winger because there wasn't many left footers. So I was easy to just throw out there and be happy with it. And then I moved to left back because I got a bit older, which we actually played sometimes a 5 at the back. So it was more of an attacking left back role, which was fun. Where else have I played? Obviously for the school, for the uni as well. I got to county level. I played for Middlesex County, which was really fun. That was with a real good standard, a good group of guys as well, all plucked from different schools and clubs. But we all sort of knew of each other because we played against each other quite frequently, being like in and around the county. Yeah. So then to play with someone, I thought, this is actually really cool. I'm a huge fan of this. Trying to think where else, if I have any other claims to fame. Oh, I played at the Emirates once. My auntie used to work for Barclays.
Yeah.
And at the end of a season a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, they were doing an event. Barclays were doing an event at the Emirates and at Stamford Bridge. And she asked me if there was one that I'd prefer to go to. And I said, yeah, I'd rather go to the Emirates one.
Yeah.
So we got to go there, and it was mainly like employees and things and friends of family, etc. And I got in through being family. And we had like a 7-a-side game and then an 11-a-side game. And me and my friend, we got to keep, I haven't got it here, but we got to keep the 11-a-side trophy that our team won at the end of it. So that was really cool. It was done by sort of Ray Parler. There was a couple of other Arsenal legends there, which was quite nice. It was a whole day event, but not many people can say they've like played at the Emirates.
Yeah. Even Arsenal players of old can't even say they've played at the Emirates, whether it be such a new build, which is kind of sweet.
Some Arsenal players shouldn't be playing at the Emirates.
Shaka. We'll get to the Arsenal, but obviously you're playing on the left wing, you're left-footed. Is the left foot as sweet as the name suggests?
I'd like to think so. Yeah. It's probably got worse as years have gone by. But we did do like a meet-up last weekend where we had like a little 5-a-side tournament. Some people from the community and things. And I thought that was good fun. And it's so much better than my right foot that I shouldn't. I'm like Nicolas Pepe. I'm so easy to defend against because I will not use my right foot for anything.
Arjen Robben over here.
Literally, dribble, cut back on the left. Dribble, cut back on the left. If you show me on the right, I'm clueless.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have told people that because now if I play with them,
I was gonna say, like, I know Sai Maggio went, and that episode's up now for when this is coming out, and I don't actually live too far away from where you boys were, and he was like, do you want me to ask if you can come along? I was like, nah, I'm busy, don't worry.
It was
I'll bear that in mind.
no, literally, for the next one, we're going to do it further like towards the Midlands.
Yeah.
Because this one, I thought, for a first one, arranging it, I'd like to be close to home just to be in control of what's going on, because I felt like it fell on me if anything was to go wrong. And it was people that I've got to, like, this is the first conversation me and you have had. So this is a really cool way to open that door. So I'm hoping in the future we can get like a bigger group of people together and more people, and sort of every 3 or 4 months go around the country and potentially do one in Birmingham or Manchester or out in Bristol or somewhere, and then come back to Liverpool, maybe towards Norwich, just different places to involve different people and make it easier for people to get there.
Yeah, 100%. It did sound like a good thing. I remember he was telling me some of the guys who were in there, and he told me like Joey was. I was like, how the bloody hell is Joey got himself into that? But,
is he watching this now thinking, oh, for God's sake?
Yeah, no.
He was funny. He missed a Wolves game to come to that. So
I think it's good, and I think particularly now when we're able to go out. Don't know how much longer for, mind you, but I've not been in the community where people were actually meeting up, because I started during COVID. I was one of them. So it's weird seeing that, and I'm like, when like Si was telling me about it, I was like, what do you mean you're meeting up? Like you're just we all just talk on the internet, mate. What you want? But I think it is an important thing for the community, and it's good to see that you're taking that sort of initiative with it, because who knows what could come of it. Exactly.
A few boys said that they'd love to do it on a monthly basis, which would be great, but I think it's just really hard in terms of travel.
Yeah.
And obviously every month people have, it's maybe hard to get a group of, I'd say 15 minimum. So you've at least got 3 5-a-side teams to sort of rotate on and off, because we were rotating on and off. It was an easy 2 hours, like a good 2 hours, and then went out for a few drinks and something to eat after. But it was nice to, like you said, just put faces to a name and meet people that you've been chatting with and getting to know. I was very tempted to create a cardboard cutout of me like in a webcam and just hold it as I was walking in, just because it's so like different seeing people in person. And it was a bit not intimidating, but walking into goals, there was already 10 people there, and I thought, oh God, like I only met one of these people before.
Yeah.
And I've worked with him. Everyone else, I have no idea what they really sound like. Half the people I didn't know what they looked like either. So It was interesting, really interesting. It was good fun though.
Nah,
Good
it
fun.
does sound like it. It does sound like it. And it'd be interesting to see if that can become more prominent in the scene and things like that for sure. But obviously, you went over Arsenal earlier on. When did you start supporting Arsenal? When did you transition from Liverpool to Arsenal?
It was about. It was the year after that final, I think. I can't remember what final that was. I think it was the year Arsenal beat Southampton. Or was that 2003? I can't remember which year, but it was early 2000s where I moved over because I really liked. So my love for Michael Owen disappeared, and my love for Thierry Henry was skyrocketing at this point. Just watching him he's who I wanted to then be like, and who I was going to trade in, shouting his name when I was taking shots and things.
Yeah.
Him, Vieira, Wenger, like the old Arsenal of old. I used to watch, and people used to really like talk them up and compliment them in every way possible and tell me how good the football is and you want to play the Arsenal way and this and that. And I thought, if they're this good, why am I not supporting them? I'm going to go and support them. And I didn't really look back. My mum supports Arsenal as well, my granddad. So I guess that's where that comes from. But yeah, it's been I'd say a good 21 years. It's been around 20 to 21 years of supporting them. It's had its ups and downs.
Yeah, definitely. How are you feeling right now, though? Because I know Arteta's sort of on that 8 games undefeated, 2 draws in that 8. Like, are you trusting the process, or do you think it's just a bit of smoke and mirrors at the moment?
I'm trusting it. I read a stat that only 2 teams over the last 33 or 34 games have picked up more points than Arsenal. I'm guessing that's Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
So obviously that's this season and last season combined. But I'm thinking, well, that's not terrible. Like it's not bad. I can see there's progression there. He's made some signings that he wants, and I feel like our start to the season this year was quite tough. Brentford away, they're newly promoted. We had a fair few injuries as well, followed by I think Chelsea at home, who are one of the 3 in a title race, and we're not there.
Yeah.
And City away, who again, not many teams are going to go.
I watched that game in a pub in London, and it was great because like there were so many seats available, which is rare for when Arsenal are playing in London. But
I chose not to watch that one. I knew what was going to happen, so I made myself busy. I know I was busy that weekend.
Yeah,
but I thought the first 3 games difficult. Lost 3 out of 3. I didn't really look too much into it, and then since then, we've played like the likes of like Burnley and Norwich and teams that you think would probably be down there. Palace, but we got a draw against them, in and around sort of the bottom 6 or 7. But you've got to be what's in front of you, and it's like baby steps, but it's steps. Like the equaliser against Palace, where they celebrated it. Sure, I don't really want to celebrate a draw against Palace, but if you score in the last minute, naturally you're going to. It's relief, like that you've got a point.
It's all that tension that's built up over 90 minutes coming.
Yes, and it showed a real, I thought, a togetherness and team spirit. That the players care about Arteta and they care for one another, and there's a real like I just said, a team spirit there. They want to play for the manager. He hasn't lost the dressing room. You've seen it before where teams score and they just don't look. It looks like a group of individuals still. Yeah. And like the Villa game, you can tell there's leaders that are stepping up and taking a bit more control. And the game, I went to the Leeds game in the cup, and when Chambers scored the first goal, the subs, him, Arteta, all like hugged each other to celebrate. And yeah, it's only a cup game. It's only the Carabao Cup at home.
Yeah.
But it's you look a bit further than that and look past the result and what competition it is, and you think, well, clearly there's something here. There's a bond between these players, especially the ones that are here like for the long term. Your Sakas, your Smith Rowes, like a captain like Aubameyang. Lacazette is one of the most dedicated people there is. Tierney, Tommy Asu, they're players that I think want to be there. They're not being paid and then thinking, oh, I'm picking up a paycheck, I can leave at the end of the season. I think that's a good thing. He's got them together and they're playing for each other. They care, which is something that I feel like it feels like we haven't had for a while.
Certainly towards the latter stages of that Wenger era. So, where do you think they go from there? Because I mean, I haven't watched Arsenal since that City game, but my immediate thoughts was Aubameyang doesn't give a shit. You can swear as well. I don't really mind about that.
Oh, okay.
Should have said before. Lacazette doesn't really give a shit. There was a few of the sort of big name players on the big salaries that just really didn't look like they cared.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? And if so, where do you think they move to? Do you think they move? Because like Smith Rowe and Martinelli, these young players really do seem to care, and I think passion trumps talent at a point every day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think that's been proven with the way some of the younger guys have been playing for you. Where do you think Arsenal need to go in order to be that sort of 2002, 2004 Arsenal again that you fell in love with?
Oh, there's a long way to get there. Like, I think I think not having European football this season will help because much more rested. I feel like it's not the best thing to be out of Europe completely. Like, if you feel like the Champions League, you're in the Europa League, fine. That we've seen years gone by, that's happened. Like, Liverpool have dropped out, Everton have been in there, dropped out, Spurs have been in there, dropped out, Chelsea have finished outside the top. It happens.
Yeah.
United, I think, as well. I feel like Arsenal are in a position right now where Liverpool were not too long ago, and they just needed someone to come in and take that next step and really move them forward. I feel like if they can have a good cup run, finish top 6, get back in at least Europa League football, they're not better than Chelsea, City or Liverpool. They're sort of, I'd say, Arsenal on their day when they've got a fit 11 are probably on a similar level to the likes of Leicester, who are not a bad side there. United, if they actually play well and not what they've been doing recently. There's that 4th spot, I think, could be up for grabs. And, well, the way the Premier League's going, the top 3 will run away with it, and then it'll be everybody else fighting for 4th.
Yeah.
If you get 4th, great. If not, Europa League, a good cup run, and just keep the core of the team together and keep it progressing and identify a style that you want to play with. Look at getting players out that essentially have kind of run their course. I'm thinking like maybe like Leno, I think, will leave by next summer because Ramsdale, I think, is the number 1, who I think is a great signing, by the way. He was getting so much stick before he even joined.
Yeah.
God, Arsenal fans can be so infuriatingly annoying. Kolasinac, I think he might leave as well.
He should have been shifted years ago.
He should have gone. I'm not sure what he's there. Xhaka has signed a new contract, so I can't see him leaving. Maitland-Niles is more of a rotation player. I think it would be easier to let him go because he's kicking up a bit of a fuss.
Yeah, they should have just let him go.
Yeah, it's not great. Pepe, I'm so unsure of Pepe because I feel like Arteta's kind of been lumbered with him and then is trying to coach him. And when he's good, he's really good. But when he's bad, it's like he has one good game and then goes missing for a few, and then has another good game, and then goes missing for a few. And you need that consistency, I think. Yeah. So I think in January and next summer, he'll have another fiddle around and see what he can do in terms of getting players out, getting players in, and then hopefully the squad's starting to take shape into what he really wants and get his signings. I'd rather that and it take a bit longer than, say, we have Emery and he makes a few signings and you sack him. And then you get Arteta and he makes a few and you sack him. And then, say, for example, you get Eddie Howe or Conte or anyone whoever's free comes to the club, makes a few signings, they're gone. Because then you're just collecting players for different play styles and hoping the next manager can just make it work and not really giving them a fair crack. So time. I'm fully like Arteta in, happy with him, just letting him build, letting him grow. It's his first coaching job as well, like manager's job. So he's got a team around him that I think he trusts. People are there that want to be there. I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I'm more intrigued to see how this season plays out.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be an improvement on sort of the years gone by. And I mean, like you said, it's funny that after the sort of initial discussions, it's looking like Arteta's going to be the survivor out of the Arteta-Ollie Lampard debate.
Yes.
I'm a Manchester United fan myself, so I am going to be biased. But, you know, I think I think it got close for him, but I think there is definitely something starting to take shape, and it's just about sort of meshing everything together. And I think you're right. Having the least experience in management out of that three, if we can really call, what Ole and Lampard has as experience, really. I think he's done quite well. The only thing I worry about with Arsenal, personally, is in my head I kind of thought, especially when he first went to Arsenal, is this just like a fancy loan from City in terms of being the successor of Pep? Because that's what he was built up to be from a Manchester City fan perspective. Is that something that would concern you?
In a way, yeah. But I think he'd stick it out with Arsenal. Like if Pep left at the end of the season and they wanted Arteta, it would be so easy to say yes. But I feel like he wouldn't do that. I think he'd stay and continue to build. If it was going well, I think he'd stay and continue to build. Only an idiot would stay if City are coming in for you.
Yeah.
And Arsenal fans are starting to tell on you want to jump ship and go to City. But I think maybe one day he could potentially go back there. He knows the club, similar to how he did Arsenal when he played here. So I think that does make the transition a little bit easier. And I think he was a really good assistant to Pep. I think that's one of the reasons why that works so well. And the same with, I can't remember Jurgen Klopp's previous assistant, but I think he had him.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's him. Did he have him at Dortmund before he came to Liverpool? And then
Pep Linders is his current one.
Was
it David Wagner?
No, I don't think it was Wagner. I can't remember who it was.
Oh man, who was it?
Someone will be telling us now.
yeah, we'll leave it to
them. But he had him, and he travelled around a couple of clubs with him before he got his own head coaching role. And I thought, just for sort of stability, it's helpful. But no, I think maybe Arteta will go to City one day, but I think he's got such a long coaching career ahead of him. It's not something I'm immediately worried about.
Yeah, there's no need to rush that as well. Fair enough. Were you raised anywhere near sort of Arsenal?
So northwest London. I drove there the other night. It took me about 45 minutes.
Okay, not too far.
Not far. Well, 45 minutes drive and then a walk for 15.
Yeah,
get free parking.
And there's all the traffic.
Yes, it's all right getting here, but as soon as you get into London, for a good 15 minutes, it's red lights everywhere.
I live in West London, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Going past I didn't realise the other night as well, QPR played at home.
Yeah.
So coming back from Arsenal, because QPR went to penalties as well, we sort of hit the Arsenal traffic and then hit the QPR traffic. I was thinking,
I think QPR are my closest club, so I've seen what the roads are like when they're playing and stuff like that.
You're really not far then.
No, I'm well close. I am. I'm in between QPR and Brentford. I think Brentford is technically closer, but in terms of going on the tube, it's just my tube stops West Acton. Going to Shepherd's Bush is literally
Central Line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're very close.
Do you live in London?
Yeah, so my closest Central Line, I believe, is West Ruislip, which is the end.
Oh!
So it doesn't take me too long. It's not my closest underground line, but it's my closest central line.
I'd have to get one going back into Central for one stop, because mine goes to Ealing Broadway. Oh, mate. Oh.
Yeah.
See, I live one stop away from Goofy George, who is the closest, but
oh wow,
it's looking like I still haven't met him yet, and I don't really know why. That's mad. That is quite mad that we live so close.
There's quite a few people, I think, of the community in London, which is quite nice.
It's quite convenient for these five-a-sides. Let's go.
Literally.
So I mean, when we're getting back onto the topic of sort of you as the person we know you as, at some point there must have been Football Manager being introduced. When did that start? What was the first FM for you?
It was my cousin when I was very young. He used to play the old Championship managers, and I used to go around to his and watch him play. And this was way back when you used to play the game and there was no highlights or 2D match engine or anything. It was the commentary bar across the middle, and that was it. So I used to watch him play. It used to be on the Xbox 360 as well. So sometimes we used to both take over a club and manage on there and have careers on there. My cousin and one of my neighbours, who was a couple doors down, he was again a few years older than me. I think we went to the same school. he used to have it as well, and we grew up sort of in the same cul-de-sac. And he used to invite me down if I wanted to play like FIFA or whatever. And then he was playing Football Manager as well. And I thought, well, this game's great. You're the second person I've seen play this. It must be pretty good. And then I thought, why don't I play it? Why don't I try it? I think one of them gave me Championship Manager 0102 because that's the first one I remember having. And I don't think I've missed a year where I haven't bought the new game. I might not have played it much.
Yeah.
Like 03, 04 or something like that. But there's not been many years, if any, that I haven't actually bought the game or had the game in some capacity and played it. The last 10 years, I've really sort of started to rack up the hours on there and enjoy it more. I think where I've got older and I understand the game more. Yeah. And I'm not, believe it or not, contrary to what my chat say sometimes, I'm not that stroppy. But when I was younger, and I used to play, if I lost a game that I didn't like, quit. Do you want to save? No. Reload. Did not like to lose. Yeah, did not like to lose. And then I realised, I'm essentially just cheating here. I'm not feeling any sort of achievement. And then, the last 10 years have really been like a step up in terms of playing it and watching it as well. I didn't realise content around it existed.
What was the first sort of content that you really saw? What introduced you to it?
My friend Luke, not my twin, another friend Luke, he introduced me to Second Yellow Card. Oh. This was, I think, when Matt was just starting. And we were watching some of his content. And then we came across Ben. And we started watching his content. And then it was like a domino effect. Like we then found Jack, all within the space of pretty much a week or 2 weeks of each other. We saw this different content being produced, and we thought, well, this is great. Like, we'll watch these guys, and we've watched some series, and we used to chat and call each other about their episodes and talk about them. It's really fanboyish now. I'm saying it now. But have you seen this episode? Did you see what happened?
Oh, mate.
But it was there fun.
Before doing.
Yeah, it was fun. We enjoyed it, and it made us enjoy the game more.
Yeah,
because we had people that we had no idea that content was being created. And then we could play this and watch them. There's been times where, like, before I had the PC and we were playing on the laptop, we'd like Friday, Saturday, we'd have like just a weekend chilling, watching the football with the laptops, playing some FM, have a few takeaways, and we'd fly through some of these guys' series on YouTube because we'd have it on for a couple of hours. Yeah. So if an episode's like 15 minutes long, we'd be getting through 4 in an hour, and we'd have it on for a good 5 or 6 hours whilst we're playing. And it just made us enjoy the whole sort of experience of Football Manager and what it was so much more.
You're the first person to have really had that sort of introduction in terms of having it with people. Usually it's like for me, I first started really because I needed someone to listen to in the background when I was having like uni exams. So I just saw this Football Manager dude who'd been on Lad Bible, Dr. Benji, and again, fanboyish. Then like have him on the podcast, I was like inside, I was like fangirling a bit, but that's a different story. But yeah, like you're the first person who I've spoke to who's sort of had that. Oh yeah, like it was like what essentially is for me and my brothers watching WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble sort of thing. Did that change your perception of how to do it?
How to do content?
Yeah.
It's weird because I watched those guys, but I didn't ever. I always thought this would be cool to do.
Yeah,
this would be really cool to do. I wonder how difficult this is to do. But I never actually thought about going ahead with it for a good few years, and it was through like I don't want to say boredom, but during lockdown, the first one, it was like I need something. What can I do? And it just came to me, and I thought. Initially, I was going to create YouTube content, and I did because I didn't actually know what Twitch was. I had no idea, and then it's at the moment it's transitioned a lot more into Twitch. So it did kind of affect me in the sense that, well, this is how these guys have done it. How can I do it? And you're right. It did affect me because I did message. I messaged Matt and Jack. I don't know why I didn't message Ben. Maybe I couldn't find a way or whatever. For some reason, I messaged Matt and Jack asking. Just for advice, and they both got back to me, which I thought, oh, this is good. Like this community is something that you can build. I had no idea what Discord was. It was like a whole new world that has been sort of uncovered by doing this and met so many cool people.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had such an influence on it. No complaints. Like I'm really glad it's led to this.
Yeah, literally. I thought, to be honest, I thought with the numbers that you pulled in, you'd been around on the scene for a bit longer. Because I started at maybe a similar time. I don't think it was necessarily the first lockdown. I think it might have been the second. But I mean, I've sort of learned something there. Obviously, you're a partner now. Belated congratulations.
Thank you
for that one. I do thoroughly enjoy. While I'm thinking about it right now, the sausage emote. When that came in, I was like, I haven't watched much of Sweet Left Foot, but I need to just sub to him in order to be able to spam this. What was? Let's go to that. What was the genius behind that emote?
The genius behind that, I believe it's Millie.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this sort of happened, but for some reason, I started using the phrase big dogs or the big dog.
Yeah.
And it just sort of snowballed from there. And then I started calling more people it. Now it's my sort of, we've got an emote of
I've
the
seen
big
the dog emote, yeah.
There's a lot about it. I mean, I've got a dog, very similar looking. I've got a golden lab. So maybe that's where that came from. And then for the partner little celebration stream I did, in my Discord, I'm very close to a good group of people. We have our little chat called Club Shop, which is like just for us to chat in. And they all chipped in and got me 2 gifts. One being the Snoopy light, which is down there.
Yeah.
He's on the floor. He's not allowed on the bed anymore. He's on the floor. The other one, they got me a big jar of jumbo hot dogs, like big dogs. And I thought, this is great. And I think it was off the back of that, Millie made the dancing hot dog and just popped me. I thought, Joe, it's superb.
It was
like,
great.
I don't know where that comes from. Like, what makes you think I'm going to put Mike's face on a dancing sausage?
I don't know, but I thought Millie was clever before, but now I'm thinking he might be a bit of a genius.
Oh yeah, Millie's someone that I'm going to big him up here, but I go to him for a lot of help with a lot of things, and he's one of the people that will drop everything and is happy to help whatever I need. Like I made some lower thirds for Twitch and YouTube the other day. I needed the backgrounds cut out because I haven't got Photoshop and I know Millie does. And I said, do you mind just cropping these out for me? Sent them back within like 15 minutes. I thought just little things like that. Just so helpful. But that's just like one example of how helpful like Millie has been throughout this as well.
And it's good to keep people like that because they just help build the community. Like the first person that comes to mind is McKinn's. There's people who started at the same time with him, but he built that community and had those almost diehard fans in and kept them in really well by just being treating them as good as he could. And I think it's paying off for him now. I think like when that person comes along, you need to make sure that they stay every single way you can. But to be honest, when you said Millie was like that, I wasn't surprised. He does come across as a really genuinely nice guy.
He is, and I'm really lucky. Before Millie, there was a couple of people that have been in the stream since pretty much the very beginning. Roy, NPG, has been in since the very beginning. Shaughnessy has been in since the very beginning, and Coach Jeter. So those 3, I've called him Coach Jeter there. I don't know him on a first name basis. He's great, but those 3 were like the first 3 that came in and helped me out, and we still speak on like a daily basis with those guys. But it's so nice to have a core group of friends that understand like what I'd like to do with this, where I'd like to take it, and are happy to help me with that as well. So yeah, like you said with McKinn's, that example, it's good to have people around you that are essentially on the same wavelength, on the same page.
Yeah. It does make the world a difference. And I always did wonder, because I saw you like tweeting, Coach Jeter's X amount of followers away from 1,000. Let's start it. And I was like, I didn't know these guys were boys. Where's this come from? Yeah, because I guess it's the same. Like me and Stick Piano, Wasted Possession, really get on. He's in the US. I'm what I was at the time in bloody Crew. Like it just made me wonder how these sort of links and stuff kind of come into play.
I'm just looking now to see. Oh, he's still 17 away, which is really annoying. I can't wait for him to get there because I know he's been working quite hard and he wants to get to the 1,000. But yeah, no, we've been friends for over a year now. It was weird when he first came into the stream. I made an American reference to Derek Jeter because that's the only other time I've heard that name.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Yeah, I'm from America. I live in New York. I know who you mean." And then we both support the same basketball team as well. Okay. And then we just started talking more, exchange numbers, and never looked back.
Nah, sounds good. Sounds good. It's good to keep those relationships up, and it's good to see that you've got a good core. In terms of that, sort of on Twitch, you know, and hitting partner, as we were sort of alluding to earlier, it's difficult to be able to do that without a YouTube grind. And I had a look at your YouTube before this, and it was inconsistent. I just what do you feel like you did different to sort of make it without YouTube?
I think I just put a lot of man hours into researching how to like engage with an audience, I didn't even know Streamlabs was a thing, so how to operate on Streamlabs, how to run a stream, how to control a stream, investing, looking at people like names I just mentioned to help me, being as active as I possibly can in creating a Discord and on Twitter and like building those profiles up. I think just essentially not stopping and continuously looking for ways to improve was one of the main things. I didn't want to get to a point and then just sort of tail off. I remember months ago I was streaming and my averages were like, I'd hit 2 of the 3 partner requirements, like the days and the hours, and then the average viewers were like 20, 25, and I thought, I generally thought I'm never going to hit partner numbers, so I'm not even worrying about it. And then I started to have some more streams where I was averaging high numbers, and I thought, this was back in, I think, February, and I thought, oh, maybe like in the future there's a chance. And it wasn't just an overnight thing. It took a good like 4 or 5 months from when I first started thinking this could be a thing to when it was actually a thing. I would have loved to have had YouTube as well. I don't know why I sort of tailed off of that. I think I just lost interest. I think it's difficult because Twitch is live and I can engage with people and have fun with people on there, whereas YouTube, sure, you can engage with people, but it's in the comments and it's like plugging it afterwards. Essentially, you're talking to yourself. And I was still quite inexperienced with content, so I was trying to go full throttle and I was exhausting myself by uploading episodes every day and having to play through the saves and things, whereas I thought Let's Play series were the only thing that existed, whereas now I've noticed there's like experiments and different ways to do videos and different ways to produce content, which what I'm going to look at doing in the future just to make it a little bit less draining and a little bit less strenuous on myself when it comes to the game, because it got to a point where I wasn't enjoying it as much because I was on it so much. And that kind of was taking a bit of I think that's why I was quite sporadic on YouTube. It was taking the drive away from me in terms of YouTube.
I think, people say focus what you're good at, and I'm a big believer in, rather than practicing what you're not good at, practice what you are good at and become an expert in it. And I think that's probably, it sounds like that's something that you sort of did and got that well-deserved sort of partner badge. What do you set as your next goal when you get that there? Because it seems to be that thing everybody's working for, but then once you've got it, it's like, what now? It's
weird you say that, because I actually wrote down some goals for the FM22 game cycle. So I'd like to double my Twitch followers. I think I'm on like just over 4,500. So if I could get to 9 would be great. If I can get to 8,000, that would be superb. I'd like to double my Twitter followers. It's I know it's just a number, but it means that I'm engaging with more people.
Yeah, it's representative of some growth.
Making relationships and building things as well, I think would be cool. So I'd like to double that. I'd love to have some sort of sponsorship or partnership this year, which would be really cool. I'd love to get, I see a lot of the big guys have affiliate links as well. to like 2Game and things to get. I'd love to be able to get one of them. That would be really cool. And I just want to have a really successful save again and have people enjoy it and have me enjoy the content. I feel like I've got some different ideas this year that I think will help me enjoy it. So hopefully that does play a part in things picking up and kicking on. For the first 3 streams of FM22, we've nearly averaged around 200 people per stream.
You and Luke are pulling in some good numbers. Because when I wake up in the morning, I've got my work laptop on, and I'm thinking I can get away with doing nothing until like maybe 10:30, 11. So I'll whack up Twitch, see what's doing, and you guys are absolutely killing it on them mornings, man. Yeah,
it's. I figured that the mornings just work a little bit better at the moment, so I kind of alternate with Second Yellow Card. He's on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I'm on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So last thing I want to do is clash with him, or anyone really. But you need to find a spot, and it just seems to work. Like the mornings, like you said, the numbers for myself and for Luke have been really good. The past, I think I've streamed 3 times the new game as of recording, and it's been really enjoyable, really great. I'm enjoying it, and it's been. I think I had a look at the follows I've got. And I know it's just numbers, but it's more people that are attracted to the content that I want to keep around and keep them coming back. And I think in the 3 streams, there's about 200 new follows, which is really like the new game boying is
like
helping.
That's 2/3 of my followage. Like, you know what I mean? That's insane.
It's much easier when, because I often find there's not as many people streaming then as there is sort of in the evening, for example. So if you're at the top row of the category, a lot of people will click on. Whereas I do feel like if I was streaming later, obviously there's more competition and maybe there won't be as many people noticing, oh, this guy's online. There's nobody else really streaming. Let's have a look there. Or, oh, this guy's online. But then so is this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. So I picked a time at the moment that just works well for me.
100%. Well, we're going to, again, caveat that into something we love to talk about here because we're heavily involved in it, the draft scene. Now, I mean, obviously when I think of you, the 2 that I kind of associate you with is the Streamer Showdown, which we'll probably talk about first because it's the big one, and the Super League particularly. Yeah. 2, I mean, you've done quite well in the Super League. What about the Streamer Showdown? How did you first get involved with Ben and the bunch?
So I watched it, the first few. I think there was a couple before I started streaming or started creating content, and I watched them and I thought, this is really cool. And that was another spark that made me think at the time, not like, oh, I want to stream just to get involved in this, but I thought, this is cool. Like it feels like a group of friends that are just all together having fun and enjoying the game. And this is coming from myself, who I've never played a draft. I'd never played a network game with anyone. FM for me was just a 1-player game, apart from obviously when I was really young and I was getting introduced to it by my cousin. But it's always been a 1-player game. And I was sitting there one evening and I got a DM from Ben and I thought, oh my God, I haven't ever spoken to him. And he asked if I wanted to get involved in the next one on the lowdown. And I thought, amazing. Like, yes, I would absolutely love to. Bearing in mind, I'm shitting myself. He's like, you're going to be working with Nerdphonic and a few other boys Saturday, Sunday, about 6 till 10:30. Do you fancy it? And I was like, yeah, get me involved. But I'd never really spoken to anybody that was on the lowdown or too many in the showdown either. So being like the new guy at that time, I was quite nervous and anxious, but I feel like it went as well as it possibly could. And I think I did the lowdown for, I think maybe 3 seasons for FM20. And then the last one I was invited to be a participant, which for me was like a huge, like, this is cool. Like they trust me enough to be involved like, on a participating point of view, as opposed to the lowdown. It's like a different way in and a different way to engage with other creators, which is cool. I loved the lowdown, like watching it and having fun because you're on there with such a good group of guys. And then going from that to being in the showdown is cool because then you're a participant, you're playing against people that you haven't before. And it was nearly a fairy tale story because I got to the final and lost to Matt. And I thought, oh, if there was anyone to lose to, it would be Second Yellow Card, like the guy that's essentially mentored me through.
It comes first full circle sort of thing.
Yeah, literally. I thought, student yet to become the teacher, and that was the sort of thing. And then FM 21, I think I was on the lowdown for a couple at the beginning, and then I got a spot in the showdown again, and I thought I sort of held my own and did really well there in terms of controlling varying numbers in the chat and playing against people. It was really, really good fun. It's so enjoyable, just a whole new world of draft where you just work with others. Like it's really good fun.
And then how did you come into contact with FM Work / Danny in terms of the Super League? How did that come about? Because of my impression, it looked like you two were like friends, because it was sort of the only one that you were doing seemingly at the time. Out of I call us the big three outside the Streamer Showdown, Wasted Possession, the playoffs, and the Super League. How did you get involved with them guys?
So I hadn't been involved in any others, I don't think. There's Roy runs a draft in my Discord. That's the only other one I'd been involved in. And I think it was at a time where the Showdown, I think, was having a month or two off, and I thought, I've got the itch. Like, I'd like to do something. And it was at a time where I was a bit uneasy about reaching out. But I think Danny had a form that you could fill in. So it was it's nobody could really see what. And I filled that in, sent it off, and he got back to me and asked if I want to be involved. And I said, yep, that'd be great. And I saw who else was involved, and I thought, this is cool. Like, it's another group of people that I haven't played against. Some of the people I haven't even spoken to. So again, it opens up avenues and relationships and things. And I thought, that's great. And went from there. Like, luckily, convincingly, kind of won season 1 and season 2. Thank you. I thought after season 2, they're going to have to rename this competition, because I'm collecting trophies here.
Sweet Left League.
Sweet Left League. That's it. I think season 3, I got destroyed by Sai in the semis. Season 4, I lost to Curti in the final. So I've had a lot of success in it. Like, I've got out of the group every time, been to 3 finals, which has been fun. It's been, again, playing against people that I haven't played against before in the showdown or in my Discord. Well, it's actually not really my Discord, it's our Discord, in the drafts there. So that was cool. And then I was going to reach out to the playoffs for the last one of FM, because I thought, well, I haven't done this one yet. I haven't done Wasted Possession yet. These are like drafts I'd like to get involved in.
I like how you said "yeah" there. That makes me excited.
Yeah. I'd love to. Like, the more the merrier. I think it's a good thing that there is more people wanting to create tournaments and do drafts. And there's 2 that I haven't. One that I haven't done, which is Wasted Possession. So FM22, I'd like to be involved in that. The playoffs, I've only done once, so I'd like to get back involved in that again. The Super League, feel like there's some unfinished business in terms of I've missed the season 5 where Diz won, so that is going to be cool. That is going to be great. I missed season 6, I think, in what's coming up in November. I think the announcements are done for that now, so I don't think I'm doing anything wrong here in announcing that. But I think the one in December, Danny's advertised the Champion of Champions one, so I'd like to win that. That would be lovely. And the Showdown, I feel like I've got one in me. I've been close. I think I had 3 semi-finals in 22, and I lost to flipping McKinn's on his debut, and he won it.
I know.
And I lost to Assistant Manager 6 from Kev's backroom staff, and there was one more. I can't remember who else it was, but it may have been Clates or Z. But I feel like I've been not so much unlucky, but towards the latter stages of the Showdown, I thought I could have won one, and it just wasn't there.
So what is that sort of quadruple? Because we always talk about the Holy Trinity sort of thing, and that's why we have the relationship with the Super League and the playoffs, where if you win one, and you won it too bloody early for us to get you, because we didn't have the partnership then, but if you win one, you get invites to the other 2. Which has created, along with Sai and the FM draft rankings, it's just created so much hunger to be involved and be the first person to claim all 3. But you're like similar to McKinn's, who's already won the showdown, the biggest one. You're in the running for the 4. So was Curty. We had a brief talk to him. Would that be the sort of perfect way to end FM22 cycle, just to get every single trophy? Yeah.
Yes, that would be perfect. Yeah, I like winning.
Oh, mate, so
I don't mind losing at all, especially when I know I've been like well beaten. Like that's absolutely fine. And for me, a lot of it is, as long as I've had fun and enjoyed myself, I'm absolutely fine. Like that's pretty much the main reason why I do it, like just to have fun and work with others and enjoy it. Obviously the winning is nice. So if I can get my hands on a showdown, a wasted possession of playoffs, another Super League, then perfect. Like I wouldn't mind the quadruple there. I know a few people are on there. I think Lemo's won 2 as well, hasn't he?
He's not won. He's won 2 playoffs.
Oh no, he hasn't got a Super League.
He hasn't got a Super League. He won a playoffs like the first one or the second one, and then he won the playoffs again, the Champion of Champions ones, where they had people who'd won stuff from all other competitions involved as well.
Yeah, that was the one I was in. Thanks,
you won
AlehStair.
that one. No, it's fine, mate.
Yeah.
If you wanted it, you should have done better.
I lost to him, so I guess that's a good thing. I lost to the winner.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, Lemo's a great guy as well. The games I've played against him have been really cool.
Oh, I love Lemo. I think he was our second guest on this as well, just after that first win. Top guy.
Yeah.
I think he is sending me a Evolving Mindset hoodie, which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's class.
Cannot come soon enough. It's getting chilly, man. It's getting so cold.
Yeah.
But I guess along with that, we're talking about drafts. We're talking about camaraderie. The relationship between you and Luke, right? Because there was a point I was in, I think, your stream, and somebody said something about Luke, and you said, "Oh, I'll just go downstairs and ask him."
Yeah.
You were joking, but I was like, "Do they live together?" Like, I wasn't as in the loop. Like, where did this sort of Luke and Mike thing just first come into like fruition and knowledge?
It's bad to say. I don't really remember the exact point where it started. I think someone mentioned that we were on. Oh, I do remember. We were on the lowdown together, and our cams were next to each other.
Yeah.
And people in the chat were saying, "Oh, we look like twins," and it just snowballed from there. Like people grabbed onto it, and we grabbed onto it, and started, just literally snowballing with it and thinking, what can we do with this? We can play up to this. This is fun. Like we like each other. We're friends. This is not going to be an issue. And I think the first showdown we were in together, we both changed. So we was wearing the same thing, like doing little things like that. We've had discussions about swapping streams. Like on April Fools, I just log into the Omega Luke channel. He can log into Sweet Left Foot and just stream on there. It's been a really like good budding friendship though, and I think Luke has mentioned before as well that he's been a little bit cautious about making friends with people online that he hasn't met. So he was a bit like keeping me at arm's length to begin with, and then he realised, well, we actually have a cool friendship here, so let's just why are we so that led to, obviously, we did Battle of the Twins as well, which is really cool. We should probably do that for FM22. That was good fun. I've beaten Luke a fair few times in grass.
I mean, looking at Luke's track record, it's not much of a flex, mate. That being said, he did top his wasted possession group, and now for the final, he's wearing a singlet. And I've put my foot down and said, "You're not wearing a jacket like you did before. It's the singlet. He's got to wear the singlet." I am so happy he said yes, because it was just after that I recorded this with him, so we were already like talking, and we've talked a couple times in the DM since. But it was at a level where I was like, "Oh, I can request this, and it'd be funny."
Yeah. You could. I'm still nearly there on the channel points to make him do a stream in it, but I'm going to hold on to them until there's an important one coming up, and then think, bang. Like, there you go, get your singlet back on.
Next time he's in a showdown or something.
The amount of people at the lowdown on a Sunday. Everyone has his shirt and tie there. They're in a singlet. The amount of people that I've got that question a lot, what you are. Do these guys live together? Because even on the stream, like he's raided over a few times. pretty much as he's finished, I've been starting, or there's been like an hour crossover.
Yeah.
And I was like, cheers, Luke. If you pop out and grab the shopping, can you do that? And next time you're in the bathroom, can you please just clear out the shower, for crying out? And the amount of people, there's a lot of people that do believe it and say, do you two live together? Are you brothers? And it's something that we can just play on, because now people might think, oh, wait, they're not. They don't live together. Who knows? Who knows? We might do.
Shall I cut this bit out so we can keep the facade going? Were you? So you weren't as tight before the comparisons were made. It was as the comparisons were made where you got a whole lot tighter. Like, was that the catalyst?
Yeah, we knew each other and we were working together, and we were like on a talking basis, like as creators and mates.
Yeah.
And then that started happening, and we started messaging more, just talking about like everyday life and things, and just what's going on in the world with ourselves and content and family and friends and this, that, and the other. And it's sort of, the conversation started to move a bit away from FM and content, and then more into sort of general life, which was really cool, because then I thought, there's a lot of people I've made as friends doing this that I'll probably be friends with for life. And he's definitely one that, if this was to all end tomorrow, I'd still like talk to him pretty much on a daily. I think we do talk on a daily basis, whether it's just a little Discord message or a text, or we both watch basketball. So I follow a page called like the Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, etc. So whenever I see something, I just forward it to him on Insta, and we talk about that. So it's nice that since we've got to know each other more, we've been going down like one road. There's been lots of like paths that are leading off from that to keep it growing stronger.
The relationship. That's quite lucky. That's quite lucky. I mean, you could have had that comparison and still sort of not become friends out of it, or your personalities didn't match. So it's quite fortunate that it's played out that way, and it's really good for the narrative. It's great. It's allowed storylines. We've done content around it, which is great. I mean, he started to call himself recently the sassy cat, as opposed to the big dog. Oh yeah, I saw today, because I was in his stream and then I got taken away because I had to work a meeting, and then I come back and he's raided to you, and everyone's just talking about sassy cat, and I'm like, I don't get this.
I don't know where it's come from, but he said he's the sassy cat, and I was like, okay, that's fine. We can do that. So it's just like another thing that we can potentially add, and it's really great. Luke's a really great guy and like a genuine friend. Lots of people, but he's a genuine friend.
And I know, speaking of people I know you're quite close with, Mr. Diz as well is someone who I think you and Diz, like with what he's doing with the Scouting Centre, I think really he was the first in the space to do stuff like this. So you know, I have a lot of time for Diz generally. But how was it that you two sort of kicked it off?
This again, I don't remember where this started, because I think Diz sort of joined and started creating content a little bit after myself. I think the first proper chat I had with Diz, like an in-depth conversation, we was on the phone for a couple of hours. It was for the first edition of the Scouting Centre. And I realised that not even halfway through the conversation, quite early, like I can talk to him very similar to this, like just, this is a casual chat, like very freely, and felt like he was someone that I could go to for advice about life as well, which was a really big thing. He's just a really nice guy, a really, really nice guy. He knows when to turn it on in terms of like, you know, playing the game and being a bit cocky and a bit arrogant and a bit fun. And then he knows when to, you know, be serious with it and where he's needed in terms of help and things like that. And me and Diz are friends as well. Actually, to let you in on a secret, myself, Luke, and Diz have like a little group chat between the three of us that is active like every day. That's one of the ways we talk to each other quite a lot, and that's two like really good guys. All three of us get on really well. And it's annoying that I haven't met either of them in person. But all in good time.
Well, they're quite far away, aren't they? I'm not sure where Diz is living exactly, but he's got a Brummie accent, so I'd assume them ends. Obviously Luke's in Plymouth. He's a
long way down.
I mean, Birmingham's easy from London, but I guess if you're more like Ruislip ways, then if you're going to get the train, it's not exactly a short amount of time to get into London from there.
No, it's not. But no, Luke's great. Diz is great. There's a like I could sit here and name others. Like I still go to second yellow card with what I think the most dumbest questions ever.
Oh yeah.
And excuse me, he's got time to help me with anything.
Yeah.
And that's so good. And the support that he gave me to begin with is now what I am happy to pass on to others. If they say, oh, can you help with this or can you advise with this? Then yes, I most certainly, because people gave me their time when people like Matt do this full time.
Yeah.
So for him to give up his time, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, bit of water. Will do the job.
I do need it. Hold on. God, it's made my eyes water. Jeez.
Oh, he's getting emotional.
I'm crying over Matt.
Nah, I have a lot of time for Matt. Obviously, he was the first person we had on this. Zero subscriber platform. Never spoke to him before, and he said yeah. And I was like, even now, like if I don't know if I would have done if I was in his position, just because I knew nothing about it. But like, I guess it's testament to the sort of character and influence he has in the space.
He is the first guy to help people get something off the ground. Like, I remember when I was first starting on Twitch, I wanted to do like a little Premier League talk show, and he was one of the first people that said that he'd come on and help me with that. It didn't really. I've learned a lot since then, so I didn't want to continue it at the time, but. Yeah. He helped with that and tried to help me get that off the ground. And there's some other projects that I'm sort of looking at behind the scenes in terms of content and things around FM that I'd like to do. And he's been quite heavily involved in helping me with that as well.
Yeah.
Even my intro for the Milan save, I don't have After Effects. So we got in a call. I sent him the file and we was in there for about 3 hours. And he was essentially, I was over his shoulder. I thought to give up like 3 hours of time when you do this full time is very, very generous. Really kind.
It's unbelievable. And even I think it's testament to everybody in the space, and especially when it's something like this that we're doing now, because ultimately every single person that has been on and will be on, while we're as big as we are, like 109 subscribers on YouTube, has nothing to gain in terms of anything other than they might like chatting to somebody new for a bit. Like for us, we are very, like for me, I am so reliant on yourselves, the Bens, the second yellow cards, the Foxes, and everyone else, the Lukes, to just please come on sort of thing. And there's nothing to gain from you guys in any sort of growth, or especially if you're thinking about it in the sort of creator mindset. But like, everyone's been on, and like the person who I thought would be really difficult to get on that we've had so far, Ben, I sent him a message within 15 minutes. We'd sorted a time out and got his Discord from an email. Like, it's absolutely insane. It's a good precedent to set for people who are looking to do stuff, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And you say there's nothing for us to be gained, like myself. Like, I'm not looking for people to come over and follow or whatever. Like you said, it's just really nice to have a chat with you. And then the last sort of interview thing I did like this was with the guys at the Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes. And then before that, it was Diz with the Scouting Centre. So for me, it's like it's another one a couple of months later that if anything's changed in terms of content for me, like people can learn or listen and like find out about what's going on with me and stuff. So it's nice to just essentially I'm having a chat with you.
Yeah.
But then whoever's watching this, I feel like I'm essentially having a chat with them as well.
And it's also refreshing to see the human side, because I stream too. The person I am on the stream is a bit of a facade. I don't know if facade is the right word, but that's probably the sort of like it's like I'm exaggerating certain personality and traits of mine, because I believe it performs better when other people are there. People don't usually see the human side to, you know, what maybe the mental toll it takes at times, or who the person actually is behind it. So I mean, I guess I appreciate you being so open about everything and coming on. Well, what about yourself in terms of when you're obviously doing the sort of streams and stuff? Is there anything that you sort of purposefully try and repress or exaggerate in order to have what you deem a better product?
Yeah, so I hope everyone understands, and I think they will, that it's not just a case of clicking go live and streaming.
No.
Like, some people can do that, but that's just not me. I like to put a lot more time and effort and thought into it. From the smallest things, like the lower thirds that pop up, how often they pop up, where I'm placed on cam, what I've now called my channel points. I call them like big dog biscuits, just to make it a bit more inclusive for everyone, and keeps to where the channel is at the moment. Like, the big dog stuff has just come out of nowhere, but then, okay, it's people like it, run with it. Like, let's go with it and see where it goes. There's some things that I say exaggerate. Like, I really enjoy the game, so I don't really put on an act. Like, it's if I'm annoyed at something or shocked or happy, or I find something funny, then that's just me. I'll just react to it. There will be certain things that I'll maybe get a bit more excited for. Like, in one of the streams the other day, I had the first Milan derby of the beta save, and I thought, oh, this is something that I should let's get myself a bit more up for this. Especially, it's hard to keep up that level of enthusiasm for the entire stream.
It's so much more mentally draining when you just see him.
Yeah, and when you're, one of the first bits of advice I got was from Dupe, and he said, always talk like there's 100 people in the stream, even if there's like 2 or 3 or 4. And I really took that, and I think for the majority of my time streaming, I don't shut up. Just constantly talking to the chat, or describing the game, or what I'm doing, or talking about something in the world of football or sport or just life. So as long as I can keep that going, by the time you said you're done, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It is knackering, but I do feel like if people are giving up their time to watch me, and some people are there for like an hour, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, the whole 4, like whatever, like the time is, you're giving up your time. So I'm more than appreciative of that. The least I can do is try and put on what I feel is the best possible stream and the most professional output and the best possible products. And I'm by no means perfect. Like, there's still certain things that I want to improve, certain things I need to learn. And that's going to involve me reaching out to people that are more experienced and having them help me. But yeah, I just like putting on, I don't want to say a show, because it's not like an act, but I like putting on a stream that people can enjoy and come back to. And if that's me losing 4 in a row and getting annoyed, then people enjoy that. If it's
love the shower,
you love that strop left foot, or if it's me like scoring a last minute goal, or I think in today's stream we had an outside of the foot in the top corner, which just blew my mind. And like, that is something that I'd react to. So yeah, there's lots of things throughout the stream that I do try and take note of, because if you're monotone throughout the whole thing, it feels like I'm not enjoying it. And then if I'm not, then why should other people?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's the important one, and that's the difficult thing for people who are new. Like, when you start and there's like 2 people in and no one's talking, it's so hard to keep that going. But at this point, if I'll just start singing to whatever's playing, like, just make sure there's no dead air. That's
or go into commentary mode on the game, or describe what you're doing. Because if we go into someone's chat and straight away, as humans, we like make assumptions, or we have thoughts immediately. So we will look at like the webcam or the audio quality or the overlay, just what your eye can see.
Yeah. And
if you're in there for about 10, 20 seconds and not a word has been said, you're probably going to click off immediately. Yeah. But if you click on and someone's talking and you can engage with them quickly, and they're welcoming, and they want you there and they want to keep you there, then naturally you're going to think, oh, I'll come back, or I'll stick around for a bit and see, if it's a very like chilled out stream and very easy to get on with and listen to the person. That's where the advice from Duke comes in, and that's obviously I'll pass that on to whoever. Like, if
definitely
anyone does find themselves at a loose end, that's one of the best bits of advice I've got, is just talk like there's 100 people there, and eventually, like, it will happen.
Yeah. 100%. And I think someone like Zealand's a really good example of that. If you look at his stream statistics from years gone by, you can see him knocking between 7 and 12 for a good few months. And how he's pulling in like 2,000 these days.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, mate, calm down. Save some for the
Yeah,
rest
yeah,
of us.
yeah. It's such an international audience with Z as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Honestly,
this,
I've had this conversation with other people. If he chose FIFA, he'd be bigger than Castro. Like, he's a
do you think
genius.
that's so cool?
Just put it into perspective where everyone else is, and like I know there's different variables, but I think he would have spotted the variables and worked around it because he definitely has a plan. And the contents of the plan are just plugged into Suit FM. If he'd gone to FIFA, he would be at like Castro's level or bigger, 100%. No doubt in my mind about that. He's insane. The quality of it, you feel like you're watching a show.
Yeah, and I think that's like essentially what he aims for. If he can, I don't know Z as well as others, but on the same as you, it feels like you're watching a show, and he's like smashed it with YouTube as well in terms of like evergreen content.
Yeah,
which is that's what I saw, and I thought, I should probably do some more things that are one-off episodes as opposed to like it's all right for the guys that have been doing this for years can do Let's Plays and they're absolutely fine. But if you don't have as much time or you're not as invested, there's other ways to go about it. Like Luke's channel is a perfect example of evergreen content as well. Like you could go back in 3 years and watch a video of his
rebuild Barca, whatever.
Yeah, and
that's the thing, cool. Though. I think the problem with doing the Let's Plays nowadays is Kev, Ben, and Jack are so good, and their quality is so good that if you're starting out, you're not really gonna reach that. And if that's the case, not many people are gonna not watch Ben. Or the things that are out of your control because you're in there so early on, just become more glaringly obvious. I think the next sort of wave of sort of YouTube FM content is gonna have to be that sort of evergreen content, like you said. And it's just a case of what people find. What don't we have?
That's it. Where is there a gap now? I'm sure there is. Like I've got my one season wonder idea, which I want to do, and kind of similar to Luke's rebuilds in the sense that here's a spread over 5 seasons, and he's got a clear aim for those, whereas mine's like a 1 season aim with a specific club. So I feel like that can be done in an episode. I did, like you saw my YouTube, I did the Arsenal one over 9 episodes, which is cool, but then okay, that's 9 episodes, 15 to 20 minutes each. You're looking at nearly 3 hours worth of 2 to 3 hours worth of content. Whereas if it's just one episode, even if it's like 20 to 30 minutes, it's one episode. And then it gives you the chance to do, if you're doing it weekly, like I'd like to do it weekly, it gives me the chance to do different saves and do for a smaller amount of time in one episode. So yeah, that's evergreen content in terms of that, like what you said about Z has smashed it. And he's got so many people from YouTube to FM on Twitch as well. And they've like fizzled down and seen other people. I've had people come into my chat. Someone, Ollie, who mods for Z, found me through coming over from Z on Twitch. And he's a really, really nice, a really nice sound guy that in the community that I've met. And he's just a really like nice person. And it's nice that's an example of people coming over from his YouTube channel and finding others and giving others the time.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's only a good thing. And again, like if you want to do better than them, you have to beat them. That's what he said when he was on here. If you want to beat me, you have to beat me. Raising the bar is the best way to get everybody moving forward, because then everyone has to improve. If you want to be at the top and the bar's higher, then you're not at the top anymore if you don't improve. So it's only a good thing, and it'll be interesting to see how the space shapes in the next sort of couple years, next 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows, man. So hopefully we're at the forefront of it. Let's go.
You'd like to think so. There's a lot more people streaming FM now than there was a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is mad that I had no idea what Twitch was. I had no clue. I don't even know how I stumbled across it. I think it was my mate from around here, Luke, who said, it must have been like, do you know the people we watch on YouTube stream live? I'm like, what? and that's how it sort of came about. And then I started watching them on there.
Yeah.
And And yeah, it's even in the last 2 years, I feel like it's changed so much.
Yeah, and especially now that drafts are coming along, and they're
yes.
actually making draft improvements.
Yes,
Like, that's mad.
the new ones on 22 look really good. Like that was the first thing
Go on.
Yeah,
literally.
I looked when the game, the beta was released. I loaded up a Milan save just to have a brief browse at the squad and things, knowing I was streaming the following morning, so I had time to just have a look. And I thought, let me go and check out draft mode. And I went in there, had a look at sort of like the interface, the new things you can do in terms of the budget, the knockout and league. Had a look at how the draft actually runs. You can pause it, what you can add in terms of picks as well. I thought this is going to take content in terms of draft to a whole new level. Like it's so much better than what it was. And it's like little things. Like you said, why can't you have an unlimited budget? You can now. And it's just one thing. It's brilliant.
Oh man, I cannot wait to have a wasted possession draft where people are only able to draft in goalkeepers under 5'5". I cannot wait. You don't know how excited I am for that, Mike.
Of all things that you want to add, goalkeepers under 5'5".
It's gonna piss so many people off. It'll be lovely.
Oh, that'd be great.
Well, no, I guess we're coming towards the back end of the sort of podcast now. So the sort of way we leave it is looking to the future, I guess, and I guess that is sort of what plans do you have for Sweet Left Foot going forward on Twitch? Any other like sort of content mediums that you're looking into?
So YouTube, I'd like to do the one season wonders. So for anyone that doesn't, I feel like it's a given, but I'll briefly explain. So the idea is to pick one team, have one season there with one aim, and if I can complete it or not. So similar to like challenges. So for example, a one season wonder with PSG, the aim being winning the Champions League. Because it's something they should do. One season wonder with Liverpool, essentially trying to go invincible because they've started so well, and you think they definitely could. They could. One season wonder with Spurs, trying to win any trophy because let's face it, you don't know when it might happen again. Just things like that. That I think, or like interesting ones like Bayern Munich like going unbeaten, or I was trying one earlier where I had every player on attack, every role, but I need to find a team to do that with. That maybe I was trying it with City, but the Premier League is pretty good, and they were getting quite exposed. But maybe someone like PSG or Bayern would be a good one to do it with. So those I'd like to release every Monday on a weekly basis. That is going to be fun. In terms of Twitch, I've got the Milan beta save. The main save, I'm going to do Deportivo La Coruña.
Oh.
A few did it last year, and I thought, I'll leave it because they're probably going to get promoted. But if not, and they're still in the same division, maybe next year. And I'm criticising them, even though I'm about to be them. Thankfully, they didn't get promoted. So now they start in like I think the third tier of Spain, which is similar to what I did with Kaiserslautern. So it's a similar type of save, but in Spain, and I think Spain's a really fun nation to manage in as well. So that's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Whenever I've had saves in Spain before, I've enjoyed them. And something I'd like to do on Twitch as well. Every other Monday evening, I'd like to do a draft against another creator, whether it's one leg or two legs. And each of us giving a stipulation as to what we can do. Because that, again, it's another look at how good draft mode is. I can edit that down and pop that on YouTube. It's a bit easier because it's just once every 2 weeks. And it allows me to work with lots of people that maybe I haven't before, or I have, but not really in the sense of a one-to-one basis, which is really cool.
It's rare in the space to have that one-to-one.
Yes, it is. And that's why I thought not many people, like people do open drafts and things, but if you can do a one-to-one, similar to like this, we could have done this. We should have opened up FM and just had a draft.
Oh, that would be that. I know that would be too much ripping off the scouting centre. Episode 1. That's where I'd have to draw the line. But we could,
that was Matt episode 1, wasn't it? Again, going back to Matt, I think he was the first one that did it with Diz.
Honestly, did behind the scenes stuff. I said to Diz, this is something I want to do. I've wanted to for a while before the scouting centre was a thing, but it's kind of your space. Like, I just thought I'd let you know it's something I want to do. And he was like, smash it. Second yellow card's your man to go for first. And then after the video came out, he started like critiquing like where's the meat and the sauce of your like video description, and was absolutely like, do you know how you were saying before, like we were having a discussion about some stuff, and he was like, can I call you for 5 minutes? I'm like, I can afford 5 minutes, I was at work. And then an hour and a half later we're kind of still there, sort of thing. But yeah, it's a good idea to have that sort of one-to-one in there with other creators. I think it could be a really good thing, because there's not enough one-to-one stuff.
No, and it again, it brings more eyes to the game draft mode, and hopefully there might be some people's chats, like where I stream in the mornings now, like I'm just thinking of people that stream in the evening might think, and vice versa, like people that watch me that then see person A who's streaming at 9 o'clock at night, if they're thinking, oh, who can I watch, they might really like this person, and vice versa. If people that stream at night didn't realize that I streamed in the morning or fancied having a morning stream to watch, I might think, oh, Mike streams in the morning, I can hop in there every now and again.
I do see that in the space. Like you'll have sort of groups that sort of form of like, you know, maybe a stream team or whatever, but there are always people who are around the sort of same time as you. And before Wasted Possession, and I was much more involved in sort of looking for who is in the community rather than who was just live and I am. There's so many more people than you initially think. Just don't stream at the same time with you, whether it's because they're in America and they stream later, or they work nights, so they're doing it in the mornings, stuff like that. It's absolutely mad when you see how many people actually occupy it that you're just so aware of.
That's it. And one of the things I like to do every now and again is just go and sit in people's chats that I haven't seen or I haven't really watched or heard of, and think there's a few people that
I've seen you in mine a couple times, and once I saw her, I was like, okay, better set up straight. Love what's here.
It's weird. I do that when certain people come into my oh god, they're here.
It's easy for me, especially in the early days, like when you've got 7 people, it sticks out more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I often find myself checking I don't know why I do it, checking the viewer list. I think it's just maybe a conscious thing. It's something I've always done, just to see, oh, who's here? I wonder if this person's here. And that could be like friends. It doesn't necessarily mean other streamers or anything like that. Just mates. I think it's like a proud thing. Like it's, I'm really like proud of where I've built it up from. So I do like to check, and there's like a lot of regulars as well. Which is nice to see.
Yeah, the regulars are the important ones to hold on to. Definitely. Well, if unless you have anything else you particularly want to cover, I think an hour and a half will do. I
think, I don't think there's anything else. AlehStair did send me a rough guide, but we've gone through pretty much everything. There's not a massive amount now. You know what's coming next. So you stream, like you said, so we can do one of the Monday evening drafts. I'm down. 100% down.
I'm down for a Monday evening draft. My 4-2-4, Andy Carroll up front is ready. I love Andy Carroll in draft mode.
Target forwards on this FM seem to be the thing. So
Wout Weghorst is doing bits for me. I benched Andy Carroll for Wout Weghorst on my stream save. That's how good he is.
If you can get James Ward-Prowse and then a bunch of 6'5" and a couple of target forwards, you're fine. Just get him out wide as a mez, whip a ball in, and that big Andy Carroll will be there to nod it in.
Bullet long throw traits as well. So good.
Oh, they back? Oh, the trait.
The back.
Yeah.
Just basically drafting Chiellini and you're fine.
Yeah.
You'll bag goals.
Yeah.
Literally one of them. But yeah, that'll do for today's episode. Thank you very much, everyone who's watching to this point, because these are quite long. And again, big thank you to Mike /Sweet Left Foot for coming on and doing this with me. We'll be back next week for another episode, and on the day this is released, we'll be here tonight. This will be going up just before our finals of season 5 for the Wasted Possession draft comes out, so make sure you are coming along and checking that out as well. But until then, I shall see you all next time.